Champion right. Darkwing roams the Oh, hello there. How are we all doing this fine day in this world of this stuff and things and everything? What could be going on? Because, as we all know,
It's turtles all the way down.
thank you, Professor Wolfram. But something happened the other day. I was on the YouTubes and I came across a video from 3 blue plus 1 brown. What's going on, my friend?
Really of sharp corners, so to speak. So if you believe the property, it explains why the boundary remains rough no matter how far you zoom in.
Oh,
And for those of you who are familiar with the concept of fractal dimension, you can measure the dimension of the particular boundary I'm showing you right now to be around 1.44.
1.44? That's very interesting, because this ended up being kind of more or less a two-part video, and as you can see from the little preview there, you kind of end up with a Mandelbrot set, it kind of looks like, but there's kind of rough edges rather than our smooth curve. Why? Because it's fractal, baby. So I just wanted to share that because I found that very interesting. Because you remember that 1.44. That's gonna come back in just a moment for us as we pop over to something else that I remember was kind of fractally. And as we can see here, oh, it's Henry Segerman and his collaborators. What's going on, gentlemen?
Hi, I'm Henry Segerman. Hi, I'm Saul Schleimer.
And I'm Dave Beckman. We've been exploring these images, which we call cohomology fractals. These are similar in some ways to classic fractals like the Mandelbrot set.
Oh,
but in other ways,
the
Mandelbrot
set, you say? Oh, it's very amazing because essentially to sum up, yes, 3 blue plus 1 brown's video, he's basically like, yeah, from very seemingly simple functions, some very simple rule sets, amazing complexity can end up arising. I'm just saying.
World exists on the top of a giant turtle.
How does one define turtle, I say? But I just found this very interesting because you keep on looking at these different things. All right, we see the world basically to us. A lot of our lives are kind of in 2 dimensions, but we are 3-dimensional creatures. We appear in 3 plus 1 dimensions to ourselves and others. Thank you for joining me, Parrothead. It is a wonderful day. We're going to have to save some squirrels for later, though. The reason why I say this is because I started playing around on this internet. Because apparently now you could actually start trying to solve for the universe using Wolfram Alpha. This was something that basically Thad taught me. So I kind of popped over here. And what's this? I decided to play around with math. What's this right here? Pi. It's essentially the most important number in math, then followed by E, which is Euler's number. At least that's one of the things that kind of math world kind of got the gist of. I'm just paraphrasing here. So I'm like, all right, they say within physics, you're supposed, if you don't know what to do, just when in doubt, square a number. Cube it. Take the square root. So I'm going to take, I took the square root of pi. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I took the cube root of that. I'm like, that's interesting. And I'm like, what happens if I take the pi root of pi? 1.4396. All I remember is back in elementary school, they said if you were to round up and you'd have, I don't know, an approximate dimension of about 1.44. Now again, this is probably just numerology. I'm just throwing this out there. It came up. I happened to manipulate some mathematical numbers or stuff we have, and it came out to be something similar. Let me see you there, Doc Smith. Thank you for joining us. Now, again, with no formal education in the mathematics and taking a modern physics class in college for all of about 1 week, where I was able to calculate the speed of probably like a proton going 0.999999 times the speed of light or something. When we started again to this stuff, I was just proposing resonance. I had no idea I was actually supposed to take physics 1 through 3 plus all the labs plus electromagnetism, thermodynamics, basically all of classical physics. And I was thinking as elective as a business student, and I had to drop it for I think like astrology or exploring the universe. It was required for my core degree. But all I'm just saying is, to us, we're kind of viewing that, kind of looks like 2 dimensions. But apparently, if it's in a fractal dimension, it's 1.44. Pi is the thing that always comes up if we're doing a circle. It's a hypothetical shape that we're trying to obtain, and it keeps going on forever, around and around, my friend. And so people started calculating it, not quite knowing what it was. And we have machines to continue to calculate it because of different fractions and stuff and things. But what I'm saying is, if there happened to be a correlation, because okay, you assume it's wrong, you do an asymptotic analysis. You assume it's absolutely wrong no matter what, and it's like, all right, what are the degrees? Let us assume if it was absolutely right. What could be some potential principles here? It's like, well, pi's involved with everything. It's like, what is something about was it the Riemann zeta function or something, the Basel problem? It's like pi squared over 6 or something like that. I think Newton or somebody figured that out. But it's like, that's very interesting. What happens if you took the pi of pi? What happens if maybe that was, I don't know, maybe a conversion factor from, I don't know, maybe 2 dimensions up to 3 or something? Or from, I don't know, maybe it could be used for something. Again, I'm just looking into this. I found it fascinating. I did want to show you that amazing shirt because I totally want one. One of the comments in the section is like, this is what a mathematician looks like. It's like, you just mentioned the shirt, didn't mention anything else. I just love that stuff. And the sheer fact that I go down there, and this video from Henry Segerman was brought to us in part by the National Science Foundation, the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, and the Simons Foundation targeted grant to the institutes. So it's good to know that this philanthropy and the U.S. government bringing us cool videos on the internet. I'm just saying this might explain a lot. Not what I'm saying, mostly what they're saying. But, hey, peace out, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. And no matter what happens, you gotta remember.
Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Log from Blammo.
Not paid for by Blammo, but logs explain a lot. Get you all next time.
Have you guys checked out the Memes of Destruction's channel? He's an interesting dude. I like him.